Namita Purohit, your leadership and life coach, and I show up live every Wednesday with my show. Uh, Sometimes I talk about toxic narcissistic abuse and how to recover yourself. Sometimes I talk about leadership principles. Sometimes I talk about self mastery. I'm a leadership and life coach, and I live to serve leaders, ambitious individuals, high potentials, those who want to grow, those who want to work on themselves, and those who realize that there's a lot more possible in their life than what they're experiencing right now and are willing to get coached, willing to invest themselves. And we run a complete ship with coaching courses and community. And I also have a team that serves alongside with me in a team of coaches that serves alongside with me in coaching different coaching you and helping you achieve your highest level of success. Today is a very interesting topic, and we're going to talk about clear your money blocks, clear your money karma. That's our show today. That's our topic today. And I know that a lot of us are struggling. Even if we've reached like the zenith of what we thought we could have reached, but now we're like, wow, I got that so early. But now I need to grow more. I need to do more. And what is blocking me? Or some of us have a lot of potential, are sitting with a lot of potential, but somehow things just don't work out for us. No matter how much we try to build our wealth, no matter how much we try to put in the effort to grow, things don't seem to work out for us. And therefore, today we're going to talk about clear your money karma. And in today's podcast, live show, coaching with me, you're going to get coached with me right now. We're going to talk about three different things that you can do to clear your money karma. Yes. And today is also a very auspicious day. It's according to the Hindu calendar, the Vedic calendar, and it's Akshaya Tritiya. Tritiya is the third day of the lunar calendar, and Akshaya is something that can destroy, that is always living, that is always eternal. So any activity that is done today will always be there eternally with you, and it will also expand many fold. And therefore, certain activities are recommended for today. And I'd shared this post earlier on all my social media for those of you who follow me on, increasing your worship, increasing your donations today. The more you donate, and we're going to talk a lot about donations today in clearing your money blocks. So hang on there. Increasing your spiritual activities, investments, investing today, any small amount you invest today, and a lot of people like to invest in gold. Any small amount you invest today is going to grow manifold. And also engaging in invoking the divine energies that we've already talked about, but also about serving and venerating your ancestors. So these activities on today's very special day once a year uh, is uh, is going to bring a lot of abundance to your lives. So a lot of you haven't done that yet. I shared this on Monday so that you could be prepared, but a lot of you who haven't done that yet can do it now. And if you don't have the means to do it now and to complete those commitments now, at least make those mental commitments today and then make it happen. But make sure you make it happen. Yes. And so that's something I wanted to share with you. Now, are you struggling with your wealth problems? Is it that money doesn't seem to stick? Money is always scarce. You make a lot of money, you bring in a lot of wealth into your house. I just heard somebody who made $20 million in one day because the stock market nosedived because of the tariffs, and then he made the right investments on that day, not just for him but for the entire portfolio that he manages, and his own net worth shot up by $20 million all in one day when the stock market started climbing back to normal. Yes. Now, some people get get that money, get that that huge boost to their net worth, but it doesn't stick. The outgoings, the expenses become very high. Yes, some of us have that kind of karma, where even if we are making a lot, we're getting a lot of wealth into our lives, but there's also like this empty, like the bucket has holes, so all that wealth keeps draining out. Money doesn't stick. Some of us are struggling because money is scarce for us. No matter what we do, we always find ourselves tight with money. Maybe we have it, but it's tied up into assets which are, you're like asset rich, but you're cash poor. And you just you or you try to build your assets so big, and then your mortgages are so big, so much more bigger. So even if your house value went up really high, but your mortgage is still so big, so you still feel cash poor all the time. Money is always scarce for you, and you're living in pressure, hard to sleep at night, and you want to quit your job, but you're like, no, I got to pay that mortgage. Those kind of things. And for some of us, we're asset poor and we're cash poor, and we're struggling, and we don't know what to do. We've tried everything, we don't know what to do, and now we're like, okay, yeah, maybe I should get Bitcoin. Maybe I should do this. I'm looking for some quick ways because I'm tired, I'm struggling. That's what happens to us. Some of us have very high expenses. I know one family, they still live as a joint family. So it's four generations together, and they went through almost 25 years of health issues, one family member after the other. Surgeries, hospitalizations, in home care, all those kind of things. And the expenses were just so high. Or sometimes some of us are in businesses and we're doing something, we're thinking this would give us a benefit, and we're going to make money over here, but then there are continuous losses. I know someone who had a factory, and either the mixer would blow up, or the power would go out, or the machineries would stop working, or like if there was like if they had to supply the raw material and supply their goods and send it somewhere else, and the truck would like come and ram into their factory wall, and then that would break down, and then they had to build it up again. These kind of things happen. Say a yes in chat if these are some of the things you're experiencing. I'd love to hear, love to see what are the different problems that you're experiencing and what solutions we can come up with for this. Now, I have a story of two startup founders who came to me for at different times for getting coached, and one of the problems was the whole money piece, the constant struggle with money. They didn't, of course, identify that as a problem. They didn't come to me saying that I have a money problem and why don't you coach me, Namita, in helping me overcome that money problem. They came to me more for their own mental state and their emotional well-being and their ability to have decent relationships. One of them came to me for that. Another one, startup. Startups are like, one day you're like, yeah, I'm doing so good, and then one day you're like, I just need to shut everything down. So the other startup founder was like, down to like $1,000 in his bank account, and he wasn't sure how he's going to pay his people the next day, the team that he had set up, because they were still not funded. They still didn't. They were not sure. They'd applied. They interviewed with so many VCs. He actually went to 100 VCs, um, and 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 he was struggling. So he didn't come to me for his money struggles. He came to me for oh my god, I can't sleep at night. Oh my god, I'm so stressed all the time. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. I need a sounding board. I need to be able to talk to someone. I need to be able to get someone to help me see through things that I'm not able to see through, my blind spots and things like that. They both came to me for these kind of things. And, the first one also came to me to have a better relationship with his family, because startup founder, and like he was just messing up big time. Uh, he was so emotionally disturbed and he couldn't have a great relationship with his family. So there were three steps, in addition to all the coaching that I gave them for what they came to me for. But, I'm a good coach. I like to also look at the root of the problem, and I like to help people with my clients who come to us with the six areas of their life, which is their self, their career, their wealth, their spirituality, their wellness, and their relationships, right? So I take a holistic view of when people come to us. So while I help them with the presenting problem, I also look at other things and other areas of their life and try to support them and try to coach them through all those things also, because an issue in one affects, all the other areas. Now, there were three things that I did for with both of them, and their master tips that I'm going to share with you today to help them overcome their money problems. Yes, because those money problems, of course, they needed to learn how to be more emotionally resilient and work on their inner scripts and all. But it was a lot of money problems that was causing a lot of these problems that they were facing in their emotional and relationships and things like that. So we also wanted to address that. So there were three things that I did with them, and I'm here to share those with you. And I need you to be alert, be attentive, because I'm going to go and pass. And of course, there's a lot of depth to each of these. I'm only giving you an introduction, some steps to help you start thinking differently. And then we also have a solution where you can actually transform your mindset and go deeper into that work with support and with coaching with me. Yes. So let's go further here. Now, the first thing that I worked with the first founder was mindset. His mindset around money was that um, money is scarce and my time is running out. So I need to do like these really big, risky games beyond my capacity, beyond um, my team's capacity, and I need to play these really big games and then get all that, the wealth that I need to generate. So he was operating out of the scarcity mindset, and that he had no time, and that there was not much enough left out there, and he needed to go out there and he needed to get everything. And then he was doing a lot of these high risk deals that would put him in a lot of stress, and that would put his entire team in a lot of stress. And because he was in a lot of stress, then his way of dealing with it was to go back home and sit in his den and not want to talk to anybody, his children, his wife, or anyone. And then he's like, oh, why don't they leave me alone? I'm stressed. Why don't they understand? I'm providing for them. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Why don't they get it? And I'm like, no, it doesn't work that way. So we had to work on his money mindset around scarcity and high risk. And as we edited that mindset, his decisions changed in his business. And as his decisions changed in his business, he wasn't doing those very high risk deals where he was losing a lot of money also. He was doing considerable risk, but not as high risk that was driving him crazy. And as we did that, things started getting a little calmer for him. He started getting calmer, started doing better. And because he was calmer, um, he was able to make better decisions, and he actually made a lot more. He actually attracted a lot more abundance for himself, not just in terms of wealth and tangible wealth, but in just terms of better well-being, better health, better relationships, and so much more. The other startup founder was pitching himself to um, like for very low amount of money. Like, he could have easily gotten $10 million of funding from a VC, but he was pitching himself to get like 500,000 or $1 million, and just like bare minimum. um, and then, because he would get that bare minimum funding round, then he would be investing that money in the business, and again he would be struggling again, and then again, he would be running out, and then again he had to go and like ask again and show results and things like that. And changing, working on his mindset, the thing was that his thermostat was at a certain level of how much money is good money, is a lot of money, right? So he didn't know how to digest that level of success, digest that level of funding that could come his way, and that could ease his life and ease all the stresses and struggles that he was going with. And he had a lot of fear also, like, what if I lose? What if I get cheated? What if something goes wrong? And I don't want to, what if I'm not able to give results, and all of that. And he didn't understand the whole VC mindset really well either. So he was making a lot of decisions from these mindset, these scripts, because of which he was constantly on this hamster's wheel of shortage of money, a shortage of funding for his company. And as we worked together, um, and helped him overcome this thermostat, like, get the temperature up a little bit, get his capacity to handle, increase his capacity to handle more money at once coming together, and plan it out well in a phased way, and also take it in a phased way from the VC, and also overcome this fear of failure, this massive fear of losing money, and massive fear of failure that he had, and massive fear that he had of losing his credibility. And because he did have a great track record, and as we worked on that, he was able to attract a lot more funding. No more days where he had only $1,000 in the bank and wondering how he's going to pay people the next day. And then that has now, his company is also like, it helped him grow. And now they're ready to go public, and they have like top of the line clients, like brands that we use and again, it's on the financial and advertising side of things, digital advertising side of things. And these are brands that we are familiar with, that they are their clients now. So it's all about the mindset. Now, this mindset is also influenced. Like it's your own thing that you're carrying, as these two were carrying over this lifetime based on the experiences they had in this lifetime. It was also about carrying these impressions from different lifetimes because of various different experiences that they have gone through. And sometimes it is also also a lot of times it is also about the mindsets our ancestors are had around money, or the experiences they went through, and the vibration of all of that stays in the field, the energy field that you're operating in. And sometimes it's not you, but it's you're carrying that mindset. So we help them overcome these things, and there was a lot of success and a lot of happiness and a lot of peace in their life. So think about yourself. What is your mindset around money? What fears do you have around money? Do you feel you don't deserve it? Do you feel that money is not a good thing? A lot of people think that money is an evil thing. Money is not a good thing because of a lot of socialist, communist propaganda. No, money is a good thing. Money is Lakshmi Devi, and it helps you do good things for other people also, right? And you deserve to live well. You deserve to live a comfortable life. Some of us feel that there is not enough money in the world. Some of us feel I don't deserve the good things in life. Some of us don't feel that we don't deserve the successes that are possible for us. So what are some of your mindsets around money? I'd love to hear in the chat, and I see some people have written some things in the chat. Okay, there's some greetings here. Thank you for those greetings. So, what are those mindsets around money that you have that are blocking you? So, something for you to think about, right? Now comes the next point that I'm going to illuminate, that I'm going to put some light on is that you're changing your mindset is important, but also working on your money karma is important. Now, karma that we have around money manifests as a mindset in this lifetime, which we've already talked about, and it also manifests as the results that we can attract in our life. Yes, so depending on the karma we've done, depends on what results we attract in this lifetime. Now, there's this beautiful story that I was reading today, because I wanted to present it to you in a way in which that clicks for you, in a way in which that you understand better. And there's this beautiful story which is about the story of King Satvahan. Yes, so there was this King Satvahan, and I marked the region of the Satvahan Empire from India. And he was once with his soldiers, and they were in the forest, probably doing their sorties or recce's or whatever, and their rounds through the kingdom, or coming back from a war. That's not clear yet in that story. But it turns out that the king, um, uh, gets separated from the rest of the soldiers, and then he gets lost in a way in that forest. And it's night. It's extremely cold, and there's no way he's able to find where these soldiers are. So he's wandering around the forest, and he's wondering, like, what should he do, and like, where can he find shelter? And then he sees this very small hut in that forest, which is inhabited by a tribal couple, the Bheels. And he requests him for shelter. Now, the Bheel recognizes him, this tribal person recognizes him as the king. And he's very honored that the king has come to take shelter at his place. And because that hut is extremely small and there's not much room for two people, he he decides to let the king be inside while he stands outside the hut. And it's very cold weather. And when you're out in the elements, when it's cold, hot, rain, too much wind, etc., it can be very, very stressful. So he decides to give that comfort to the king, that you be inside, and he decides to sacrifice his own comfort because he wants the king to be comfortable. And he stands outside and he sits outside the hut and he spends the night outside. Now, it so happens that not only is it so cold in the night, but it also starts raining really badly. So it's like two elements, right? The temperature and water. And when the king wakes up in the night, he's all fresh, all grateful, feeling fresh, and like, thinking that, yes, I can make my way back to, find the soldiers and things like that. When he steps outside, he finds that the Bheel has died because the elements were too much to bear. And the king feels terrible about this, that, oh, this person sacrificed his life for my comfort. Um, why didn't I ask him to stay with me inside? Why did I let him, do this? And, he felt extremely guilty. he felt like so terrible for what happened. And as he felt so terrible for what happened, he reached his kingdom back, he consulted with his ministers, and he gave a lot of wealth to this deceased man's widow, his wife, and so that she lives comfortably and they don't have to suffer further. Their generations don't have to suffer. And he does that, but internally he's still feeling extremely disturbed. Now, in those times, there happens to be a very, very renowned Sanskrit scholar and an astronomer by the name Vararuchi. Great astrologer, great Sanskrit scholar, scholar of Sanskrit grammar, and an astronomer. And he hears that the king is feeling very dejected, very sad, very broken about how he could not protect this member of his kingdom. And so then this scholar, he takes the king, he tells him, "Don't worry, come with me." And he takes him to the house of one of the richest merchants in that kingdom, in the king's kingdom. And he says that, "I want you to meet this merchant. He's the richest merchant, and I want you to meet him. And you're surely going to have a very extraordinary experience when you go over there, and you're going to feel much better." And the king is like, "How would meeting a merchant make me feel better in this? But I trust the saint. He's my teacher. I'll follow his lead." And as he goes and as they sit in the house of the merchant, they realize that the merchant has had a baby. Like his wife has given birth to a son. So the merchant is very happy that the king and this great saint have come to their house. And he is so happy and he seeks the blessings of the saint and the king for their son. And then the son is newly born. And then the son starts speaking. So the baby starts speaking. So the saint Vararuchi tells the king that this is the same tribal person who died, but because who died, giving shelter to you in his house, and who died of the cold and the rain. And look, he's born over here now. And then the baby starts speaking, and he tells the king that, "Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to serve you. And I didn't even have a proper place to make you, it was a hut, and I only gave you some sattu. These are Sattu is like sweet balls that are made with roasted gram flour and jaggery and some ghee, clarified butter." And he said, "That's the only thing I offered to you, but look at what blessing I got, and look at my fortune in this lifetime. And I'm born in the house of this richest merchant. And it's not just richness. It's such a nice atmosphere of spirituality and surrender. And you yourself and this great sage Vararuchi have come to bless me." Um, and then after seeing that, of course, the king felt sad for the tribal person's wife, but it still gave him some solace that this soul is having a better life in another place. Right now, why have I illustrated this story is to show you how karma acts in our life, especially in the realm. And as today's focus is wealth, so the way karma acts in our life is that whatever activities we have done in our past life is what we are enjoying in this lifetime. And specifically by activities, it is what sacrifices and what charity we have done in our previous lifetimes is the benefit that we experience in this lifetime. Now, say if we didn't give shelter to somebody in our home when they were a traveler, or we didn't behave properly with people, or we had subordinates who worked for us and who depended on us for their livelihood, but we mistreated them, we didn't pay their dues on time, or we cheated the government of taxes, we cheated the king of taxes, right? Or we mistreated women in our previous lifetime. Now, depending on what karma we did, like say if we didn't treat our subordinates very well, our Saturn becomes weak. So, generating wealth becomes very difficult depending on which house it is placed in, and then the amount of effort we have to put in. If we've cheated the government, disrespected our father, mistreated our father, disrespected the king, not paid our taxes, cheated them, then we have, committed offenses against the sun planet. The sun planet is the benefactor and the giver of these things. So in this lifetime, then we struggle on account of these things. We may not get the inheritance from the father, or we may not have the support of the government, or we may be overpaying, have to overpay some taxes and things like that, right? And if you disrespected women, mistreated women, not treated them well, the Venus aspect in this lifetime, that's how your karma shows about like whichever planets are weak and if they're connected to wealth in this lifetime, then it's basically you've committed offenses or you've not done the right things in that area of life in your previous lifetime, and therefore you're struggling. So that is something that we want to be mindful of. And so karma really works. So a lot of your money blocks are because of your past karma. And this is not just you, this is universal. This is for all of us, right? So, what is something that we can do about it? Now, what is the antidote for it? Of course, can we completely change our karma? No, but can we have some remedies around it? And there is an antidote for that. And that is described in great detail in the Mahabharata, the great Indian epic, the Mahabharata. And it's in the section which is called as the Anushasan Parva. And within this section, there is this whole section of many, many chapters dedicated to Dana Parva or charity. And this is about at the end of the war, Bhishma Dev, who's the grandsire of the Kuru dynasty, who is now lying on a bed of arrows, ready to depart from this body anytime. And he's instructing the next king, Yudhishthir Maharaj, in the Anushasan Parva. And because he's going to be the next king, he also details a lot of intricacies around charity that he needs to perform and the whole mechanism behind it, the karma behind it, and all of that. And in essence, it's like just as water washes away dirt and light from a fire dispels darkness, similarly, donations, charity, cleanse your sin. And also remember that whatever wealth you have in this lifetime, so this is karma if you're having money blocks, but at the same time, whatever wealth you have in this lifetime is because of the charity you did in your previous lifetimes. It works both ways, right? So charity helps you attract wealth, and charity helps you dissolve that bad karma that you have around wealth and any other sins that you have done, and it helps you. So that's the antidote. So in this entire section of Anushasan Parva, and at least I think 15 to 20 to 25 chapters dedicated to Dana Parva, I have the Mahabharata right here and show it to you. Like I was reading about the glories of donating land to people, and there is so much so many details over here. Now, if you read all of this, there are many, many things, many stories described there, and you can read that at your own time. But in essence, what are some of the antidotes for you, right? That are recommended by Bhishma Dev, this grandsire of the Kuru dynasty, to the future king, Yudhishthir Maharaj, who's going to be the king of the planet. And there are 5 areas where you should focus on in doing charity. One thing is charity of land. Can you donate land to people? Because land has everything. If you've donated land to somebody, they can have their sustenance, they can have their food, they can have a place to stay. Um, and even land even has, all the gems, all the jewelry, and all everything that is there. And there's so much support someone can get when there is land donation done. I Some people don't have land, but they have apartments. And I was having this very amazing chat last week with someone who's extremely popular, is a massive celebrity and very adorable person across India and across the globe for those who follows some of our media. And I was chatting with him. I was catching up with him last week, and then he told me, Namita, I said, like, oh, let's meet up. And where can we meet up? And he said, I've moved from where I used to live, and I moved to this other place. And I said, oh okay. Where are you now? And what did you do with the place that you were living in for so many years? He said, I gave it away for charity. That whole place in a very prime location, very pricey location with a very high per square feet area value. And he said that he gave it away in charity. And I said, what? And then he said that I have accumulated so many debts from society. There's so much goodwill, there's so much support that we all receive from society. And then I thought that, how will I ever repay that? So I decided to donate that place where I was living in. and that's equivalent to donating land. And then he just did it because he wanted to do it. There was no expectation of anything. So we don't do these charities out of expectation that, oh, if I do this, my karma will be better. And it's not the purest form of charity. Or, oh, if I do this, I'm going to get a lot of name and fame. Then it's not the purest form of charity. You won't get those results. But he just did it because he wanted to repay his debts and do something meaningful for society. Now, and then we were talking about something else in another context, and I was sharing something of my life experience. And I said that, I did this, and then whatever I gave away, I just got everything back um, in another place when I was moving. And then he said that, yeah, that's exactly what he experienced, though that was not his goal. But when he gave away that apartment, so many things that were blocked in his life, abundance started flowing, that work started flowing, things started happening, connections started happening, and so many things started flowing. This is a life story, life experience I had. The second form of charity that's considered really good, or actually is the topmost, it's just number two in the list here, but it's actually the best. And for like, we want to do all five, but you can't do anything, then do this one, is to donate food grains, annadanam, or food for hungry people, and do as much of that as you can. Because when you give nourishment to other people, and especially when it's sanctified food, it is food that is offered to the lordships. When you do that, it the blessings that come from these different souls is what dissolves all your karma, right? These hungry souls. And some of them are spiritually hungry. They may be wealthy, but they've not had spiritually sanctified food. And some of them may be even materially hungry, right? And satisfying both types of hunger through annadanam is what helps you overcome your money karma and your money blocks. Second is charity. Third is charity of water. I culturally I belong to the desert state of Rajasthan, and in that state we have a lot of in our culture we have a lot of charity around water. Charity around digging wells, digging ponds, and even during the summer season, there used to be women in Rajasthan who would sit with earthen pots of cool water, and then they would just give that out to people who were traveling. So then somebody would sponsor that lady who would be doing that act, and all the water that she would be bringing in and doing everything. So we were recommended, and we still do those kind of charities. A lot of things, right? Protection of rivers, and canals, pure water wells, all these different types of things around water is something that also helps you uh, overcome your money blocks, your money karma. Planting fruit bearing and shelter giving trees as much as possible, as many as you can, especially around the ponds that you dig, is also considered a very important form of charity. And service to the cows is supporting places where there are cows, sanctuaries where cows are being protected, cows are being taken care of, donating to people who are taking care of cows. Also, it's not just about the cow feed and the cow health and the cow medical bills, but it's also about those people who are taking care of the cows, supporting them as well. So when you do these five forms of charity, then it acts as an antidote to your karma, and you can see a lot of blocks in your life, especially these money blocks, moving away, dissolving away, and it benefiting you. So this is something. Now you can make a commitment today, and you can pick one of these, and you can start doing at least one of these, to help yourself and to help your situation, right? And you may say that, oh, but I don't have money, how can I give any charity? The more you give is the more you're going to receive. That's how it works. Givers gain. So do a little bit and experience it. And sometimes you may not experience anything also, and then you may get frustrated, but then you're losing out. But the more charity you do, you are building credits. As we saw in the story of the tribal who gave shelter to King Satvahana, food and shelter. We saw that in that story. We saw that in the other story that I was sharing about this very popular celebrity in India. And you got to do it, and you got to experience it. And even if you don't get anything, or you may not be able to experience anything, I'm sure we're all getting, but sometimes we don't have the vision to see things happening. Having faith in the scriptures and just doing it as a matter of duty itself will bring you manifold benefits. And sometimes the karma can be very hard to dissolve, and it takes time for things to come. But remember, all acts are noticed. Nothing is ever They're all eternally noticed, all eternally remembered, and at the right time, these things do bear fruit and bear result. It may not be in the timeline you want, but at the right time, it will happen. Yes. So another side benefit is that when you do a lot of charity, it is very purifying to your mindset. Yes. And also working on your mindset also. So both of these things, charity and working on your mindset, they purify your being of these unwanted feelings and emotions and beliefs and thoughts and envy and jealousy and anger and so many different things. Now, the side effect of that is when you have purified yourself by these acts, you become a master manifester. You automatically start manifesting your desires. So that's another side benefit that happens for people who understand these things and who want to follow these things in their life. Now, the third step. So these clients of mine um, did understand that they were already doing charity, but then we started directing their charity into these things. We also started the purifying their mindset around charity, which was not about gaining, which was not about their name, which was not about comforts or popularity, but just doing it as a matter of duty. And the more they did that, the more things started getting easier for them in their life, especially financially. So yeah, that's another recommendation we give to our clients. And thirdly, is that we got to attract divine grace. Yes. So we talked about mindset, we talked about the antidote for your difficult karma that you're going through. And we talked about, now we're talking about also attracting divine grace, because what you're getting right, what you're earning right now, what you're doing right now is not just by your efforts, it's not just by your purushartha, it's also by by attracting divine grace. So there is daiva and there is purushartha. Now, how do you attract that divine grace in your life? Now you may say that, oh, I know a lot of atheists, I know a lot of agnostic people, and they don't do any of this attracting divine grace. So why are you asking me to do it? You know, I know so many atheists who just have so much wealth and they don't have any money blocks. Well, they may have done certain things in the past lives, or their ancestors may have done certain things in the past life, because the results of which they are still benefiting. And then at one point, the punya will become shaya. The pious credits will go down, will be exhausted, and then they'll be struggling again. So, what is the mechanism? You have to understand that wealth is not just a product of your hard work and your manifestation and your intelligence and all the things that you do and your mindset, right? It's also a product of attracting divine grace. And what are you doing to attract divine grace into your life is something that you want to question. Which is so the things that I help these clients with, like one of them wasn't getting the clients that they needed so that they could then put their company on the IPO path, the second startup founder, right? And they were struggling. And then, of course, we were doing all the mindset work and the sales pitching and the marketing and getting all of that right for them, pointing them to the right resources for them, and also helping them in their mindset. But also, I asked them about, are you doing, are you offering oblations to your ancestors? Because all their blessings is because of their blessings that we have good health, we have a happy family relationships, we are able to be successful in our business life. So remembering and offering oblations to their ancestors on their departure days, no moon days, and all the important days that are there. And secondly, it was also living with gratitude based on the principles that the ancestors had set, and following those attitudes and those principles that wholeheartedly, and living a life of gratitude, that thank you so much that I am what I am because of your blessings and the platform you've set for me. So just changing that and doing some of these things started attracting the right clients for this startup, and as I said, some brands that we recognize, and it helped them really grow, solved all their problems. They got the funding and they got the right clients, and now they'll be ready to IPO. They also had a PR release recently where they were able to talk about that. Yeah. Now, the second thing is to also attract Lakshmi Devi, the goddess of wealth's blessings. And there are various things that she does. Is like, there are qualities that attract her favor. So she is the goddess of wealth. And she's very clearly enunciated a lot of things in different stories in the scriptures about what attracts her favor, right? And also places that she loves to stay and continue staying in, and places that she doesn't like being and she leaves. Right? She's described those points. I'll discuss a few about what the qualities that attract her favor, and you can read them on the screen and see which ones you're following, which ones you're not following. But one of them is sincere endeavor, right? She's also talking about charity, but she's also looking for people who are endeavoring sincerely, who've not just resigned to their fate that, oh my God, my fate is bad, or oh my God, I do a little effort and nothing happens and then I give up. And, no great things were born by a small effort. Even someone like an Elon Musk or a Jeff Bezos have had a string of public failures before that, and stayed with resilience, continued doing things as these two startup founders that I've talked about also, and then they have achieved the results. So Lakshmi Devi is looking for that. She's looking for that very sincere endeavor, courage, strength, power, and all of these different qualities that attract her favor. Then she's also talks about you know uh, where does she live. There are some 10 things that she describes about places where she resides, and there are 10 things that she describes about places that she lives in, or attitudes, certain attitudes that people have because of which she just leaves those places, she doesn't stay there. And there are some rituals and certain attitudes and mindsets that we need to develop in order to attract her favor. And we also need to understand what are the 8 different forms of wealth. Now, as my client started practicing these things, the qualities that attract her favor, where does she live, where does she live, understanding the 8 forms of wealth, along with the mindset work and the karma work, their success went up manifold. And because these were amazing people, the more success they had, the more commitments to charity they made. One of them started the startup just because he wanted to uh, generate so much income so that he could direct it towards spiritual charitable causes. He went through all that stress because of that, right? But when they started following these things is when a lot of divine grace started flowing from their ancestors, from Lakshmi Devi, and they were successful. So now we have talked about 3 things that attract, that helps you overcome your money blocks. We've talked about working on your mindset. The second thing we talked about is overcoming and working on exactly on like your karma and dissolving it. And the third thing is to attract divine grace. Now, all these 3 things together also help you overcome your money karma. They help you overcome your money blocks. Now, for those of you who want to go deeper and want to get coached in these things, just like these two startup founders, I have a special offer for you, which is get coached on manifesting wealth the Vedic way, and you get access to group coaching and community. And if you want to sign up for one-on-one coaching, you get that too. And plus, there are some very special bonuses if you enroll before end of day May 1st, Pacific time. So if you enroll before May 1st, 9 p.m., which I think for India is May 2nd, 9:30 a.m., then you get these 3 special bonuses also, and you get a very stepwise process, a guided process where you work on each of your money blocking mindsets, you work on your karma, you work on changing your lifestyle, changing your mindset, changing your activities in order to attract Lakshmi Devi's grace. Because you hear it one time on YouTube right now, and I'm very grateful for you for being here, and it gives me a chance to serve you. But a lot of these things we just forget and we're not able to action them. But for those of you who are really looking to action these things and work on yourself and attract that abundance that you deserve, so that you can live with peace, so that you can have enough for your children, you don't have to worry about their education, you don't have to worry about your sustenance. And also, if you're an entrepreneur, you're a startup founder, you're a leader, uh, you want to grow more, you want to test your limits, you want to grow more and more, you want to have enough funding so that you can do all the big things that you want to do in your life. And I invite you to join this program, Manifest Wealth the Vedic way. And I'd just like to show you the link for this is in the description. And I'd also like to show you what all is included in this course. So let's see here. So once you sign up, you get access to group coaching with me or one-on-one coaching with me, and you get access to these very special modules. I don't know what you can see. Let me just switch around here a little bit. Yeah, and you get access to these very special modules with us, which is, of course, first is the welcome and onboarding, and it helps you get into the right mindset, prepare your mind, and prepare your plan about how you're going to do this journey over the next 8 weeks. And the second module that you do is just wealth basics. um, just basics around wealth, basics around investing, basics around mindset, overcoming your mindset issues, very heavy on that, and understanding how to the 8 forms of wealth, and also starting to work on prayers to Lakshmi Devi guided meditation. So, in these prayers, there are actual prayers, and plus there are mindset editing happening at a subtle level so that you become the right vehicle to attract Lakshmi Devi's grace. Then we also have a bonus which is about law of attraction principles. Because as you're working on your mindset, you're working on your karma, you're working on the 3 things that I talked about, Lakshmi Devi quality, building those qualities that attract her favor, understanding where does she live, where does she live, and changing your lifestyle according to that. We also teach you law of attraction principles, guided visualization principles, law of attraction principles around manifesting wealth, and personal habits and home energy. What are the things you need to do to maintain the right habits and your home energy, and that takes time. Those lifestyle edits take time. And remedies to heal your wealth karma. Of course, I've only talked about a few today, one of them today, which is charity, but there are a lot more remedies to heal your wealth karma. And you also get a chance to actually do those and experience those and ask questions and doubts and get coached and work on your mindset as you go through this journey. So, for those of you who would like to sign up, the link is in the description below. And I'm also sharing it in the chat over here for those of you who are interested. Here you go. That's the link to the program that you could sign up with, limited time bonuses available till May 1st, 9 p.m. PST, which is May 2nd, 9:30 a.m. IST. Very limited time. So this is a description of what this coaching program is all about, and the different things that you learn. I already talked about these modules that are there, these different modules, and there are these limited time bonuses that you get, worth $1,698, $1,698, which is about 1.7 lakh rupees. You get all of these limited time bonuses. So in addition to the group coaching calls that you get when you sign up for this program, you also get a bonus 30-minute one-on-one coaching session with me, which is worth $1,500. And you get answers to your pressing questions, and you get coached on your mindset and how to build your future along with it. Second is wealth manifestation guided meditation worth $99, and prayers to Lakshmi Devi guided meditation worth $99. And you could sign up here. So any of these buttons that you click, yes, I want to manifest wealth the Vedic way, you could sign up. So these bonuses are available for those who sign up for the guided progress with 8 weeks of coaching support. It's a one-time payment of $399. It's about averaging $200 a month, but you get all of these modules, plus you get access to a community, plus you get access to group coaching calls with me. Uh, uh, so you get access to 4 group coaching calls with me, live sessions, and you get access to a community where you can post questions, plus you get a bonus 30-minute one-on-one coaching session. It's a great big bang for your buck, and you're investing in making a bigger buck also. Yes, it's going to help you big time. And for those of you who don't want that, so this is at 33.99, and for Indian rupees, including 18% GST, it's 39,900 one-time payment for 2 months of getting access to coaching and mindset transformations around wealth and overcoming your money mindset blocks so that you can generate a lot more money. So it's a very small investment to generate a lot more abundance in your life. And for those of you who are not looking for that guided progress, or not looking for those group coaching, who don't want that kind of support, and who are more self starters, you can access through the silver pass that we have, which is at $99 a month, where you get access to all of these different, all these modules. Plus, you get access to all the other modules that are there in our silver mastery around the 6 areas of our life that we talked about. And you could do it yourself, and you have access to the course and this course and all the other programs and the community while you remain a member at $99. But these special bonuses that I'm talking about, which are there till May 1st, are only for this guided progress tier, which is truly the wealth manifestation program, they're not available for those who join the Silver Access Pass. So I look forward to serving some of you inside, and I hope you've benefited from what we've talked about today. We've covered three different tips that you can follow to increase your wealth manifestation journey. But more than that, we've talked about overcoming your karma. Wealth manifestation journey is a very big piece, and that's what you get in the course. But we've talked more about how do you overcome your karma, wealth karma. And the first thing is working on your mindset. Second thing is antidote to your karma, which is a lot of charity in 5 specific areas. And the third is attracting divine grace, attracting the goddess of wealth's grace, and attracting the grace of your ancestors. And I wish you all the best in your journey of overcoming your money blocks and becoming, attracting the abundance that you deserve. And for those of you who are intelligent, who are ambitious, and who understand that they need help and they can't just do it themselves, and they really want to accelerate their wealth manifestation journey and growing their wealth journey, will sign up for the program. And you have the link in the chat, and you have the link in the description below for these limited time bonuses. So I look forward to serving you inside, just like I was able to serve these two startup founders. And see you, and bye bye.